You've probably been told that the only way to get ahead is to work harder, take on another job, take on more hours, or cut back on spending. But what if I told you that's exactly why most people never build real wealth? I've worked with thousands of high-income entrepreneurs, real estate investors, and business owners. And here's what they've all figured out. You don't get rich by working more. You get rich by keeping more of what you earn. And that means using the tax law the way it was designed to be used, to reward people who build the economy, create jobs, and invest wisely. Let me show you how. So why does working harder actually make it harder to build real wealth? Because here's what you're doing. You're working in your job, but as you put in more hours, you're paying more taxes. So the taxes continue to drain from all that work you're doing, and you're sharing way too much with the government, actually, according to the government. There are other ways to do this where you would not have to share as much, as long as you do what the government wants you to do it, and you do it the way the government wants you to do it. Because here's what's going on. Taxes are destroying 30 to 50% of your income. The average person is going to work through April of every year. And in fact, all the work you do through April is effectively the amount you're paying the government. Now, there's a lot of different taxes. The ones we concentrate on are the income taxes because they're the easiest to control. A little hard to control taxes on your vehicle, right? A little hard to control taxes on your gasoline consumption unless you get an electric car, but it's really easy to control income taxes. And the way we do this is simply we work the way the government wants us to work so that you can keep more of what you earn. See, here's the thing. If you're giving 30, 40% to the government, and it's not just money that's not in your pocket, typically it's money that could have been invested. And with compounding, you could actually earn interest on top of the interest on that money that you could have been putting into investments. So it's really a very high negative compounding result. It is compounding your demise, not your wealth. And that's the challenge with giving away so much of your income to the government when you really could do things differently and not give it away to the government. So this is why a tax strategy is at least as important as the returns you're getting on the investment. I mean, for example, as I share in my book, Tax-Free Wealth, you could get 7% in the stock market and 5% doing real estate, as an example, and you would get a higher return after tax doing the real estate. This is where stock investors, this is where Wall Street is lying to you. They're saying, hey, we got the best returns, but after tax, do they have the best returns? Because remember, it's not just how much tax you pay on the investment. Now that by itself is significant, but it's also because you're investing. And that's something Wall Street will never tell you. If you're looking at your last tax return thinking, I'm doing everything right, so why am I still paying so much? I've put together a free training to walk you through the exact framework I use with business owners and investors to legally cut their taxes by as much as 40 or 50% or more. This is a proven system that I've used with thousands of entrepreneurs and investors to stop overpaying and start building real lasting wealth. Click the link below to save your spot. And if you refer a friend to join the webinar, you'll be entered to win a private one-on-one strategy session with me, along with other exclusive giveaways. Just don't wait. Seats are limited and the doors are closing fast. So why is reducing taxes the fastest way to increase your cash flow, right? It's all about cash flow. You don't care how much money you earn, so-called earn. What you care about is how much cash ends up in your bank account. Well, it's really just because it's so simple to reduce your taxes. So many things you can do. So let me put it this way. So the tax law is roughly 6,000 pages of really tiny print. Really, you need magnifying glass. That tax law, there's like 30 pages to tell you how much tax to pay. There's one line that says all income's taxable, unless we say it isn't. And there's another line that says no expenses are deductible, unless we say they are. Okay, so what's the rest of the 6,000 pages? It's very clearly a roadmap for reducing your taxes. These are incentives, things that the government says, hey, we'd like you to do this. Let me give you some simple examples. Everybody's aware of the incentives to put solar panels on your roof. Everybody's aware of the incentives that are going away quickly to buy an electric car. Okay, well, these are tax incentives to do what the government wants you to do. Now, I'm not saying do it because of the tax incentives. What I am saying is that you can structure your earnings and your spending, right? A dollar comes in, is it taxable or not? A dollar goes out, is it deductible or not? You can structure that so that you pay a lot less tax, and you can do it fairly quickly. There are some really easy things that you can do right off the top that are just simple ways to increase your wealth by reducing your taxes. So let me give you a couple of examples, okay? So these don't require major lifestyle changes. What if you had a side hustle and you had a home office? Well, all of a sudden you're getting tax deductions for your home that you weren't getting before. Or what if you have children that actually you pay them to work in your business? People think, well, that's child labor, that's bad. No, it's not. In fact, the government encourages it with your own children. They don't encourage it with other people's children, but they do encourage it with your own children, where if you pay them, they don't pay tax on about the first $14,000 of income, and you get a deduction in your business because you paid an employee. So why would you not want to and have it be taxed at their tax rate, where the money can still be used for extracurricular activities, can still be used for family vacation, it can still be used for annual gifts, birthday and holiday gifts. So why wouldn't you do those things? They don't require a lot of changes in your life. You're not spending more money. And this is one of the keys, by the way. Don't ever let somebody on TikTok or somebody on the internet tell you, hey, the way to reduce your tax is spend more money. No, how you spend that money does make a difference. But to spend money to save taxes is really a dumb idea. And the reason it's a dumb idea is because your tax rate may be 40 or 50% if you're in California, but it's still only 40 or 50%. You're still giving up 50 to 60% for whatever you're buying. So unless you're getting a return on that investment, see, here's the cool thing. Not only do you get deductions for business expenses, but you actually get deductions for business investments. And that is a big key. So what happens when you align your financial life with the tax law? Your taxes go way down and your cash flow goes way up. As we like to say, way more money and way less taxes. Now, you're probably asking yourself, can this actually be done legally, safely, and is it repeatable? And the answer is, not only will it be moral and ethical, but it will be absolutely repeatable. So in other words, I'm telling you how the tax law actually works. I'm not telling you some loophole that some attorney made up for you, made up and put a fancy name on it. So if you want to understand how the tax law actually works, if you want to see exactly how the rich save hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes $500,000 or more every year in taxes, I made a short video to walk you through it. And yes, you can absolutely copy the rich. In the US Constitution, we have an equal protection clause, which means legally we get the same results if we do the same things as other people, including what rich people do. Most people will never get the information that I share on this video. But if you're serious about building real wealth, this is where you should start. Click the video on the screen or down below and start copying what the rich are already doing to build massive amounts of wealth by paying very little in taxes.